Hi everyone, good morning. I would be starting with the WebLogic training. I would be starting with a demo today and will give you a good introduction about how and what all we will cover in this WebLogic training. About myself, I have 10 years of experience in the middleware domain uh, in the leading WebLogic and other application servers. So WebLogic is an Oracle application server, and there are many more application servers from the different vendors, IBM or other vendors too. So different products from different companies. So Oracle WebLogic has a good market, and many big organizations use it as an application server to deploy their application. There are many Oracle Fusion middleware products too being used with by different clients along with Oracle WebLogic. So I have worked in the different MNCs before being working as an instructor. I am a Udemy instructor too. I've worked in HCL, TCS, MDocs, and Rackspace in my last 10-year tenure. And in my free time, I love learning some new technology or spending some quality time with my family. So that's a quick introduction about myself. So if we talk about the scope of the demo, um, the individuals will get a good live interactive session with the WebLogic industry expert. Um so we have been into many day-to-day WebLogic issues and work. So we will give you a good practical exposure to how exactly WebLogic is being used and why and what's exactly the use cases of WebLogic in the different teams and different projects. Then the student will avail information regarding the roles and responsibilities, what all day-to-day tasks we perform as a WebLogic professional. Then it will give you a good scope for your career and job opportunity in the WebLogic field, and the individual will also get a good glimpse of how to install and the day-to-day tasks which we do, and also the Udemy WebLogic course material that too would be shared with the. So these would be the high-level topics that would be covered as part of the course. We will install and manage the WebLogic. We will explain the whole architecture, what different terms, basic terminology in the WebLogic application server. Then we will configure the WebLogic resources, that is GMS, JDBC, Java Messaging Service, and the uh, Java directory. So JDBC is to connect the database of Java database connectivity, that is to connect to the database. So we have an architecture where once the application is being used by end users, they don't know what exactly is running on the background. But on the background, there are many couple of things. First, we have the load balancer, then web servers, then app servers, and then the DB servers. So WebLogic server is an app server, and the whole business logic or the whole application is being deployed on the WebLogic server. So you can consider it as the core or the heart of the whole architecture. Then we will deploy the application in the environment on the WebLogic server, which we will install. We will uh, study about the life cycle of the node manager, different types of the node manager, then creating the domains, why domain is required in the WebLogic, then understanding the different concepts like high availability, failover, load balancing, that all we will discuss about. Then about the security, we will discuss how to enable the SSL, do the patching or the upgrade of WebLogic. So there are many requirements from the client where we need to upgrade or patch quarterly our product as per the vendor suggestion, because they keep on releasing the new updates in the product or the bug fixes for which the patches are being released. Then we will understand about its integration with the database, how the JVM works and the performance tuning, how the GC works and the different types of GC. Then we will configure the data source to connect to the database and how to take the thread dumps, heap dumps, and basically why exactly it's required and in which all scenarios. So we will study about that. Then we will have a troubleshooting session too, like the different issues which we face in our day-to-day operations while working on the WebLogic. That is, while starting or stopping the servers, or while doing any patching on the WebLogic, or any other issue. So there are many scenarios or the areas in which we would like to troubleshoot, and I would enhance your skills in those areas. So these would be the add-on topics. Um, as I will give you the live examples of what are being faced and the different organizations while working on the WebLogic, you will get a good glimpse how exactly the product works, and how the different companies or the clients are using it, and what day-to-day issues are being faced. The individual will give a good hands-on on installation, the deployment, and how we do the automation and what all exact automation is required in the WebLogic. Then the basic architecture I will share, like earlier there used to be a two-tier architecture. Now we have the three-tier, what I just said sometime before. That is the web layer, app layer, and the database layer. So I will explain about the app layer, the middle layer. That is where the whole middleware lies, and all the application servers lies in the middleware. And in that layer we have all the business logic, because applications are always deployed on the middleware layer. It's never being deployed um on the web server or any other server, because that exposes the risk of our application to the general public, and it could be affected or hacked, we can say. Then individual will get to know on the daily issues which we encountered, and how we apply the fixes, how to troubleshoot further on those issues, and of course a good hands-on on the Unix or the Windows OS wherever we install it. That's too required. So I will train the candidate on how to do that, the basic commands which we use to take the thread dumps and the heap dumps, and the basic questions that are being asked in the interviews too. And then they will learn about the other application servers used by the different companies, and that are in the market by the different vendors, that is like IBM, or by, like, we have the JBoss, we have Vesphere by IBM, then we have Red Hat JBoss. So these are the different competitors of WebLogic. We will have a brief discussion on that too. We talk about the additional course resources. The candidates will be shared with the WebLogic based author ebooks. I individually have studied from those ebooks, and those are the best ones. That gives a very clear picture, the whole architecture, and the whatever I will explain or I have learned through those ebooks. I will try my best to share that. Then they would be also shared the study material to practice more and gain more in-depth concepts on the topics or different topics which we will be covering, like the admin server, managed server, the node manager, the architecture, how everyone talks to each other. So uh, each and every WebLogic resource will have a different in detailed study guide that will also be shared. The candidate will be shared with the best questionnaires. So they are along with the WebLogic. It's always being asked before handling the WebLogic application server. We should be well versed with how to handle the Unix or OS, like OS basic commands that we need. So that basically is required to judge how well versed or we are with doing the practical work, and how good we are, or have we been into the practical exposure of working in WebLogic. So everything about that, like in WebLogic we have a domain, so packing a domain and unpacking it. So they are many internal Unix and the WebLogic commands too that is being required while doing the pack and unpack. So I would be sharing every information about that too. all the internal WebLogic utilities. Candidates will be shared with the other interview-based questions, which basically is required to judge whether they have the practical or the theoretical exposure or not. So that I used to ask in my interviews too, while hiring any candidate for my team. So in the next slide, I will give a demo, like how we are using WebLogic and how we are deploying the application. Like after the installation, the same is being uh, expected from the candidate too. That they need to install the WebLogic, configure the WebLogic resources, whether it's data sources and the JMS, and do all the performance tuning. So I will walk you through along with me on each and everything, how to do the installation, configuring the different WebLogic resources, whether it's data source or JMS, and the configuring the node manager, each and everything from the starting till end, and perform all the performance tuning. So that is like there have been issues where everything is stable. There is an but when the new war is being deployed or the new application ER is being deployed to the application server, WebLogic application server, we enter into more issues, and we started getting some out of memory errors in our log. So we need to tune the JVM, that is the virtual machine on which the application is running. So in WebLogic, every instance, whether it's managed or admin, everything is a JVM. So we need to tune the JVM that the new application or the application which is being deployed on our server, that works in the best optimal way. So for that we need to tune the JVM. We need to analyze the GC logs, how exactly the JVM is responding to the application, in which all areas, how much memory is being utilized, and on the basis of our analysis, our GC log analysis, our thread dump analysis, our logs analysis, we will tune the JVM. We will see how much memory is need to be allocated to the different areas in the JVM, so that so there is no such scenarios where we get out of memory error or the native error or any other errors. So that all we will study about. Then there would be a lab setup, like everyone needs to do it themselves. We would be installing the WebLogic, configuring the WebLogic resources, the node manager, then each and everything in the WebLogic. And along with that, I will walk you through by doing it myself in one of the lab server, and everyone needs to do it on their machine. So these are the minimum prerequisites that everyone should have with them: laptop with a good speed internet, having a good memory and the CPU space left in that. Then I would tell about the interviews, how exactly we need to pass through. I have taken many interviews in my older organizations too, and here in my current company too, where I used to ask on WebLogic, not only WebLogic but also the different uh, middleware technologies. But with those basic things, I can quickly judge out, like an individual or a resource, like how much practical exposure or how much theoretical exposure person have, theoretical knowledge that person have. So to judge that, the basic things needs to be very clear, and I would be starting with those, building up those basic and with those basic things. So everything would be interactive, and we would learn on each and every topic in detail. I will prepare the candidate with all those basic and the advanced questions that an individual needs to know to clear any of the WebLogic interview. So if we talk about the certifications, so there are different versions of WebLogic in the market. We have 11G, 12C, 19C, and in 12c2 we have different subsets like 1213, 12213. So there are 12214. So there are like many of our clients are using 11g and they ask us to upgrade it to 12c, and we have been doing the whole upgrade. So upgrade is not only of the WebLogic, but we need to make sure the web upgrade also happens along with it. So we need to prepare a plan before doing any upgrade or any migration activity. Basically, different products, that is the database and the WebLogic application server and the web server, they have the different versions, and the different versions have different compatibility so with the different products. So we need to make sure, we need to create a roadmap. What are our existing Java WebLogic version being used in our current environment? What are the new database WebLogic or the web server we would be installing up to, and then we prepare a compatibility matrix where we will also note down like what is the end of life support for all the different products. Because if some issue occurs in the product itself and we go to the vendor Oracle and they say like this product is about to expire, like their end of support is end of life cycle is like from the next month, then we would of course go to the higher version, not to the 11g. So if we propose to the client, we will propose a version like either 12c or 19c. So we need to prepare the certification metrics where we will note um present the client like what versions we are up to and to which version it would be good to go, which has a higher end to life. And depending upon their budget, their cost, we plan the versions and we share the on the timelines how much time we require to do the whole setup and migrate their existing older setup to the newer version setup, where we would be migrating their data also. So data migration is not just moving the data, it includes like the schema upgrade and the database upgrade, then moving the data so to some temporary database sometimes, and then doing a lot of reconfiguration after installing the application server. So there are many couple of steps in doing the whole migration from the existing version to the higher version. Then I have myself cleared the WebLogic certification, and there are different courses for the 12c administration 2. So administration 1 and administration 2, there are two courses for that, and two different codes we have for WebLogic administration. If I'm not wrong, it's 133, and I do have the terms for that. I prepared well, but due to some reason, I didn't give the certification further. I already have 11G certification with me, and 19c is right now less accepted by different client as it is very new. So everyone is afraid, and every client just asks like how many other clients have already tested and used the 19c, so that they know that it is having the less bugs and it is more acceptable to go to. 12c is the most widely used version by most of the clients, and I do have the terms for that. I will share that too. I will also let you know how to give the certification exam, how to enroll for it, what all things we need to take into consideration before entering into an exam. And I have been into learning other technologies too, Azure and OCI. So I have already completed 6, 7 certifications and enrolled for 3, 4 more in my next couple of months. As a Udemy instructor, I have published few courses in Udemy, so I would be sharing up those too. In the end, you will also get a certification achievement certificate like on completion of this course, and this course will give you the good exposure on theoretical and practical knowledge, and you would be well prepared to clear the exam too. I would be sharing you the dumps and also the different topics. The late so dumps keep on sharing after every few months, but I do have a couple of dumps for the 12C WebLogic and the 11G2 versions. So like around 5 6 PDFs I do have of the different dumps which are available. So I would be sharing you candidates those dumps to prepare. So thank you for attending the demo. This is all I would be covering in my detailed series of discussion on the WebLogic topic. And please do share your feedback or contact us if you have any queries regarding the scope or the schedule, or any references, cost of payment option issues. So any query regarding that, you can reach out to us over an email, info@, mindmajix.com. So this is our India and the US number, which is mentioned below. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.